All right, in today's video, we do not have as much time. I'm only gonna be here for like an hour and a half. But as you can see, we put the underglow on, and there's tons of loose wiring all over the place. The white wire is not underglow wire. That's just like tie wire to keep everything up as far away from the ground as possible. So, like this here, just kind of dangling. I'm gonna just run through with zip ties and clean all this up. Nothing major. My fan as well. You guys are gonna love this. Oh. The fan is just like butt connectors everywhere, and there's not really any like insulation or anything. I mean, some of these, like these, I wrapped with tape. This one here I wrapped with tape. But I'm at least gonna wrap them with tape so that they can't get wet as easily. This one, I don't know what I'm gonna do about. I could cut the actual pigtail off of my old fan, which is over there somewhere. Or I could cut it off of a junkyard car at some point, but I think for now I'm just gonna leave it like this. This is the original fan plug-in, and this is where I now have my not original fan plugged in. But I'm just gonna leave it. It's high up enough that I don't think it's gonna get any moisture on it, really. Dang it, man, and my oil cap. I swapped out my oil cap. I stole the oil cap off the E36 so that I could swap it on here. And this one is also leaky. So, gotta get a new oil cap gasket. I'll get two because I'm gonna start the rebuild on this thing. Don't look at all that garbage over there. This place is a dump. Gotta start the rebuild on this thing, so may as well start getting parts for it. But yeah, that's what's going on today. And then, as well as that, we have our seat, which is a Lomax rep, and it's probably too low. Oh, saved the phone. I was talking with Max about this, and it's really not set that low. There's only one more adjustment I can make out of it, but I am going to put the seat up on this top adjustment. Basically, the higher you set, the better you can see over your hood, and then you have an advantage in tandem because you can see exactly where you're transitioning at. And then my plan was to put like little flags on each corner of the hood, so that way I can spot my transitions really easily. And believe it or not, I know it's kind of silly, but I think that's going to give me some kind of advantage. But yeah, other than that, I still have some random parts back here, like that CCV hose that I need to do. Gosh, where is that thing? This guy, so I got to take the intake manifold off. That's pretty much it. Oh, this thing. One leftover underglow piece. And I've had a clunk in my steering for the last like month. So I'm gonna try to figure out what that is. I bolt checked everything. Everything's tight as far as I can tell. The one thing I haven't checked is my my steering jubo. I have the solid steering jubo from Condor, and it's like Loctited with blue Loctite, but there's so much oil that goes down there from the power steering pump. I bet all that Loctite is just like eroded away, and so the thing just came undone. As well as that, you know what? Here's something else we need to check. Make sure my steering's not bound up. So check out my sway bar. Boom. The wheel hits it right there. So, oh, jeez. This is a 235/40. It's an Acceler though. Acceleras run really small, so this fits more like a 225/40, and it's on an 18x9.5 wheel. This is a 225/40, I believe. Nope, it's a 215/40, but we're still going to test fit it, see if we come close to not hitting the sway bar at full lock. And this is an 18x8 wheel. I have some more 18x8s in the shed back there, and then I can try and mount that and see what kind of clearance I get, because it'd be awesome to not be hitting that sway bar, and then I can really start to throw angle at this car. I've had the angle kit on the car for the last few months now, but like you really can't throw the car as hard as you want to. The wheel comes to a dead stop when it hits the sway bar, and then the car goes into a spin. So I haven't been like totally throwing the car to 100% angle. So that'd be really sweet. And then we crank up the tires to like 70 psi, slam them onto the lock stops without the wheels binding or hitting anything, and then the front tires will just slide. And in theory, that's the formula to being able to chuck backies and stuff. So I'm gonna get to work. I'll try to film stuff. We'll see what I come up with in this next hour or so. So this is our test fit with an empty wheel, and we have that much room between the sway bar and the wheel. And I bet with a 225 on there or a small 235 Accelera, that would fit. So these wheels are meant to be run as a staggered set, but I've had the rears up front. The good news is, even though the front wheels are narrower, they have a slightly lower offset. So it ends up being not as pokey as the wider wheel, but it's still like, I mean, it's ever so minuscule. So it shouldn't really be that noticeable in the stance, but it does give me a huge advantage on the inside with the tire. So I'm gonna pull this tire off of the E36 and test it on here. Actually, I might have one in the trunk of the chicken over here. Oh, heck yeah, I do. There's a mounted in parallel. I'm gonna grab that real quick. Okay, so this is actually a 225/40, but it is an Accelera, so that gives us a decently good frame of reference, and it's an 18x8. I found it like back there somewhere. I have a million of these things. But it looks like it gets close, but it does not strike the sway bar by just a tiny little bit. And really the closest point is the edge of the wheel, not even the edge of the tire. So like you could put a fatter tire on here, and theoretically this tire is only 10 millimeters thicker, so 5 millimeters per side than this one, and we have well enough room here, more than 5 millimeters per side. Of course that's going to change when the car is on compression, but I doubt by much, so I think we'll get enough room. And I still have 4 rack spacers, or sorry, rack limiters stacked on each side. So if I had enough room to put that tire on that wheel on this side, and I could remove at least one of those rack limiters, then we'd have a lot more angle than this, and or a little more angle than this. You really don't need more than that. That's plenty. Honestly, look at that. That's plenty, and it's awesome that this kit gets me even more. If I were to have like the longer lower control arms, I could get even more, but it's fine. I mean, it's even as it's been already, it's like more angle than I need. I feel like I'm just like chucking the car like crazy, and I'm not even close to the lock stops. But yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll take the tires over to Johnny and get the tires mounted up. We'll be in good shape. This is interesting. I have like a whole headlight gap here that I can see underneath. I guess, I mean, I have been in an accident on this side, so this headlight's pushed up a little bit. Pushed up and pushed back, probably. Oh well, you don't notice it at 20 feet. Who cares? All right. So, that click in the steering that I was talking about, I had a theory that it would be this guy, and I was right. There's supposed to be a set screw there holding the shaft onto the steering rack, and you can see that there's just a hole. So I'm gonna brake clean that area to get all the grime out of the threads. And then I've got some random hardware that could possibly work. Probably the shortest guy is gonna be the ticket, but I don't even know if I have the right thread pitch. So if I don't have it, I'll just have to order the replacement hardware from Condor, because it's got like a Allen with a lock nut on it. I won't be able to put a lock nut on this one as easily, so. But this will be a temporary. So like I said, I did not have a lot of time today, but I figured out that my wheels with the smaller wheels up front are going to clear the sway bar. I will be able to throw lock to lock without rubbing the tires anywhere. So I went ahead and threw a couple of M parallels in the back. These are 18x8s. And I'm going to put these tires on this smaller wheel. And then for the bigger wheels, I'll use them as rears with this Valino 255-08R. So that's going to be a fairly grippy tire. We'll see if we can run that at club loose and see how it does. Other than that, I cleaned up my wiring just a tad. It's not great, but it's a little cleaner than it was before. Just kind of zip tied things underneath this shroud here, and then along the frame rail or along the fender line. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Next week, I have some toe brackets to put in, some alignment stuff to do. I can probably clean up the underglow wiring a little bit better. That's all I think. That's all I got today. Bye.